Dear students, good morning all of you. All of you, very good morning. Today we are going to learn from the diary of Anne Frank. So you please keep your good morning. Please keep your textbook open in front of you so that we can start our lessons today. Good morning all of you. Good morning. Please, can anyone text me whether you are able to hear as well as see the slide on your screen? Can you please send me a text so that I understand you are able to hear me as well as you are able to see the slide? Okay, Arpita, you are able to hear me as well as see the slide? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Then I'm going to start now. So, dear students, today's lesson is from the diary of Anne Frank. So, we shall know about the story, but before that, I would like to discuss something about the history. Okay, history, because if you know the background, it will be easier for you to understand the story. Therefore, first of all, we will focus on the historical information. Okay. So, you see, Nazi attitudes to Jewish people. Nazi means the political party which was in power in Germany. Okay, during the Second World War. Okay, the Second World War, all of you must be knowing, started in 1939. So the Nazi, during the Second World War, the political party in Germany that was in power was Nazis. Okay, Nazis led by Adolf Hitler. You might have heard about Hitler in your history class. So today we'll come to know why was there enmity between the Nazis and the Jewish people. Okay, why was there so much of enmity between Nazis and the Jewish people? Okay, why did Nazis hate Jewish people? Okay, so we'll come to know about all that. So please speak more louder. Okay. So can you hear me now? Can you hear me, Ashirvat Tiwari? Can you hear me now? Okay. Thank you, Arpita. Okay. So the Nazis' treatment of the Jewish people derived from their social and racial policies. Okay. So just a minute, I'm coming. Okay, dear students, you can focus on your screen now. The Nazis' treatment of the Jewish people derived from their social and racial policies. The Nazis believed that only Germans could be citizens and non-Germans should not have any citizenship rights. Okay, so the Nazis considered non-Germans as their enemy. They thought that non-Germans do not have any right for citizenship. Therefore, they adopted taking a different attitude. Okay, adopting a different attitude towards the Jewish population of Germany. Understood? So Nazis were very much racial in nature. Okay, they were very much racial in nature. They were not integrated. Okay, they did not want to integrate themselves with different communities, different races. Okay, they only thought that that Germans have the right to get citizenship in Germany. Okay, and non-Germans like the Jewish don't have any right to live in Germany. This is the concept, this is the attitude from where the discrimination of the Jewish people started by the Nazis. The Nazis' racial philosophy taught that that some races were, you can see here, Untermenschen means subhuman, is German word, means subhuman. Okay, Nazis thought that some races were subhuman. Many scientists at this time believed that people with disabilities or social problems were genetically less human and that their genes needed to be eliminated from the human gene pool. It means even the scientists were so much orthodox and so much superstitious in nature that they thought that people having any disabilities or any kind of social problem, okay, like they are not intellectually or financially strong, okay, if some people were not intellectually or financially strong, then they were a misfit for the society, okay. They also thought that, the scientists also thought that if some people were disabled, okay, or handicapped, then they have no right to live in the society. They cannot be considered a part of the mainstream society or social structure. Therefore, they started discriminating those people who were intellectually, financially and socially inferior, as well as those people who were physically handicapped or disabled. Okay, so this is their narrow thinking. This is the narrow thinking on the part of the Germans under Nazi government, okay, which have caused them to differentiate other racial groups or racial people belonging to different races. Okay, this is the root cause of the segregation. Okay, first of all, Nazis thought that those who were non-Germans do not have any rights to be the citizen of Germany. Secondly, the Nazis thought that if a particular community has poor social standing, intellectual standing, and financial standing, they do not have any right to be a part of the mainstream society. These were the narrow attitudes, okay, which were responsible for the birth of the discrimination procedure on the part of the Nazis to the non-Germans. Okay. So, dear students, till now whatever I said, have you understood? Sahil, good morning all of you. Madhu, Sahil, Nidhu, whatever I have just explained, did you understand now? Okay, you understood, I suppose, right? The discrimination of Nazis, okay, to the Jewish people. How did it start? What was the reason behind the discrimination of the Nazis to other people? Okay, discrimination of the Jewish people. Okay, that was the reason. That was the main concept, actually. Okay, thank you so much, dear students. Please stay connected. Okay, now let's move on to the next few points. As a result of these beliefs or attitudes, what happened? The Nazis took the following actions. What were very severe actions they took against the non-Germans? Okay, first of all, you see, they tried to eliminate the Jewish people, killed 85% of Germany's gypsies. Gypsies means the wanderer, immigrants, you can say. Okay, those who settled from other countries to Germany. So tried to eliminate the Jewish people, killed 85% of Germany's gypsies, sterilized black people. They have also gone on to sterilize the black people. Okay, understood? So that they cannot give birth to children. Okay, so these are the harsh measures taken by the Nazis, okay, for the non-German people. They were so ruthless, so unkind, and so cruel, for which they have taken such drastic steps or such severe steps. Then killed mentally ill patients. Because I told you before, those who were physically or mentally handicapped, they were not considered a part of the mainstream society by the Nazis. Therefore, those who were considered to be a misfit in the society were either sterilized or they were segregated, and they were given severe punishment by the Nazi government in Germany. Okay. So next point, you see the sterilized physically disabled people, example deaf people and people with hereditary diseases. Okay, so you can understand their mentality. Okay, they did not consider human beings, from a holistic point of view. Okay, they were not humanitarian, having humanitarian, feelings. Okay, they were very, very harsh people, ruthless people. Okay, having no trace of kindness in them. Okay, next you see, they imprisoned people. They are regarded as antisocial in concentration camps. Okay, dear students, concentration camps are those places where the persecuted Jews, persecuted means those who were maltreated or ill-treated, who were severely punished by the German people, German government, who were kept in concentration camps. Okay, concentration camps were the shelter for the persecuted Jewish population, where they were given very less food, they were tortured, and they were given severe punishment, even to the extent of their death. Okay, so those socially misfit people, according to the Nazis, were imprisoned and sent to the concentration camps, and they were given severe punishment there. Okay, so you understood now the kind of mentality that Nazis under Adolf Hitler had for the non-German people. Understood? So let us very quickly recapitulate what we have learned so far. First of all, before that, yeah, thank you, you are able to hear me, I suppose, as well as see the slides. Okay, please let me know if you are not able to hear or see the slides. Okay, so just a bit of recapitulation before we go ahead. The Nazis' treatment of the Jewish people derived from their social and racial policies. Okay, the Nazis thought that only Germans have the right to have the citizenship of Germany. Next, Nazis' racial philosophy, taught that some races, other than their own race, were subhuman people. Even people belonging to intellectually inferior, standing, or the people having having a less financial strength, or people having mental and physical disabilities, were not included as a part of mainstream society. They were ignored, they were neglected, and they were persecuted by the Nazi Germans, Nazis in Germany, and they were also sent to the concentration camp. So this is how the segregation, this is how the discrimination, this is the background behind which the philosophy of or the kind of the procedures of segregation or the discrimination started. This is the genesis or the history of segregation of the Jewish people by the Nazis. Started. So now let's move on to the text, so that we'll understand it better. But before we go to text, let us read something about Anne Frank. Let us read some biographical information about Anne Frank. So you can see here, Anne Frank, Anneliese Marie or Anne Frank was born in 12 June 1929, February and March till March 1945. She was dead in March 1945. She was a German-born Jewish girl. She was born in Germany, who wrote while in hiding with her family and 4 friends in Amsterdam during the German occupation of the Netherlands in World War II. During World War II, what happened? German occupied Netherlands. Netherlands, that is Holland. The Germans occupied Netherlands. So the what happened? The Jewish population of Netherlands, became a direct target of the Germans. Understood? So now you see, her family, Annie's family, and 4 friends in Amsterdam, they shifted to Amsterdam during the German occupation of the Netherlands in World War II. Her family had moved to Amsterdam after the Nazis gained power in Germany, but were trapped when the Nazi occupation extended into the Netherlands. So they were trapped, they couldn't go anywhere else. They had to be settled there. as persecutions against the Jewish population increased. Persecution, dear students, is oppression or ill treatment is called persecution. Okay, persecution means the oppression of the minority people or the ill treatment of the minority people by the majority is called persecution. As persecution against the Jewish population increased, the family went into hiding in July 1942. Okay, her family went into hiding because they had to secure themselves from the Nazis. Therefore, they went into hiding in July 1942 in hidden rooms in her father Otto Frank's office building. Okay, so they took shelter in her father's office building. Okay, so her father's name was Otto Frank. Okay. After 2 years in hiding, the group was betrayed and transported to the concentration camp system, where Annie died of typhus in Bergen-Belsen within days of her sister Margot Frank. Okay, so it is very sad. Within 2 years, what happened after 2 years in hiding? When they were hiding for 2 years, okay, the group was betrayed and transported to the concentration camp. Okay, and then where Annie died, they were also transported to the concentration camps because they were captured. Okay, ultimately, and then they were sent to concentration camp. Dear students, is the text visible properly? The font size of the text is visible. Font size is proper. Is the font size proper? Are you able to see the text properly, clearly? Are you able to see the text clearly, dear students? Okay, thank you so much, thank you. Okay, so as persecution, okay, now let me again explain the meaning of concentration camp. You see, concentration camp is a place in which large numbers of people, especially political prisoners or members of persecuted minorities, are deliberately imprisoned in a relatively small area with inadequate facilities, means insufficient facilities, sometimes to provide forced labor or to await mass execution. Mass execution means hanging of the large number of people together is called mass execution, hanging. Okay, the term is most strongly associated with the several hundred camps established by the Nazis in Germany and occupied Europe in 1933 to 1935. You see, 45. So you understood the meaning of concentration camp. Concentration camp is the place where persecuted persecuted Jews were shifted and maltreated. Okay, they were also given execution. They were also given. They were also hanged there in the concentration camp as the final step of severe punishment. Okay, so in concentration camp also, they were shifted. The Annie's family. Okay, where Annie died of typhus. Typhus is an infectious disease. Children, typhus means an infectious disease. Okay, where Annie died within days of her sister Margot Frank. Okay, died. Her father Otto, the only survivor of the group, returned to Amsterdam after the war ended. So after the Second World War ended, her father was the only survivor in the family. Her father was the only survivor in the family. Okay, rest of all were all dead in concentration camp. Okay, so when her father could somehow manage to survive, he went to Amsterdam. Okay, and in order to find the diary written by Annie Frank, his daughter. Okay, in order to find out the diary written by his daughter, he came to Amsterdam to discover the diary so that he can send it for publication, because this diary contained very vital information of Annie's growing up process, her eyewitness account of the German ill treatment, Nazis ill treatment of the Jewish people. So these all were written by Annie Frank in her diary. Therefore, her father thought that people must know the kind of torture they were inflicted by the Nazis in Germany. Therefore, her father came to Amsterdam to collect the diary which his daughter had written. Convinced that it was a unique record, he took action to have it published in English under the name Diary of a Young Girl. So her father published, took initiative to get it published in English under the name The Diary of a Young Girl. And this is how, dear students, the name of Diary of Anne Frank has come. The title of your story is The Diary of Anne Frank, and this is how the Diary of Anne Frank has come. You have now understood the history, I suppose. Okay, so it was the initiative and it was the proactiveness of her father. It was the determination of her father to get the diary of his daughter published. Okay, that ultimately gave rise to the publication, and this is the reason exactly why we come to know many things about the Nazis' persecution of the Jews and ill treatment of the Nazis to the non-Germans. Okay, so next you see, the diary was given to Anne Frank for her 13th birthday and chronicles the events of her life from 12 June 1942 until its final entry of 1st August 1944. The diary was given to Anne Frank on her 13th birthday, dear students. Diary was given as a gift on her 13th birthday to Anne Frank, and the diary registers the events. Okay, chronicles means registers the events of her life from 12 June 1942 until its final entry of August 1942. Okay, 44. So from 12 June 1942 till 1st August 1944, she has written all the events that she could witness in her diary. It was eventually translated from its original Dutch into many languages. Original German language into many languages it was translated and became one of the world's most widely read books. Okay, till now people all over the globe read this book. Okay, it is one of the most widely read books of the entire world. There have also been several films, television, theatrical productions, and even an opera based on the diary. So based on the content of the diary, many films were also made, television serials, theatrical productions were also made. Okay, and based on the content of her diary. So you can imagine to what extent her diary is popular all across the globe. Not only is her diary published in Dutch, but also it was published in many languages. Okay, besides English language, it was also published in many world languages. Described as the work of a mature and insightful mind, the diary provides an intimate examination of death, life under Nazi occupation. Dear students, this is the content of the diary was considered to be a mature and insightful one. Okay, insightful means, dear students, you see the meaning of insightful, having or showing an accurate and deep understanding. Insightful means a person who is insightful means a person who has deep understanding of a particular topic is called a person who has deep understanding of a particular topic is said to have insightful mind. Okay, understood? So the content of the diary was very much insightful and mature. Okay, therefore it became so famous all across the globe. Okay, so the diary provides an intimate examination of daily life under Nazi occupation. So under Nazis rule in Germany, okay, the events that took place on an everyday basis, are something which Anne Frank has registered in her diary. Okay, Anne Frank has registered every incident on a day-to-day basis. Okay, during the time of Nazi occupation of Germany. Understood? So it is written in detail and it is very insightful. Therefore, it has become very popular all over the globe. Anne Frank has become one of the most renowned and discussed discussed of the Holocaust victims. She has become one of the most renowned, means famous, and discussed, means she was discussed by many people all across the globe for the content that she has created in her diary. Okay, and among the contents that were included in the diary, one of the topics was Holocaust victims. Dear students, Holocaust means what you see? Holocaust means the systematic state-sponsored killing of 6 million Jewish men, women and children, and millions of others by Nazi Germany, okay, and its collaborators, means and its elite forces during World War. Understood? So Holocaust means the systematic state-sponsored killing of 6 million Jewish people by the Nazis. This is called Holocaust. Understood? It's the height of it's the height of cruelty by the Nazis. Okay, inhuman behavior is the height of inhuman behavior by the Nazis. Can you imagine the systematic killing of 6 million Jewish men and women by the Nazis? This particular incident is called Holocaust. Understood? So Anne Frank's diary also registers this event of Holocaust, okay, as one of the topics of entry into our diary. Understood? So you've got to know something about the biographical information of Anne Frank also, and what does the diary of a young girl or diary of Anne Frank consist of. Now let's move on to the biographical account of Anne Frank. Okay. So dear students, am I audible and visible? Can you kindly confirm me with the text? Okay, thank you so much. Let me now go straight away to the biographical information. Okay. Writing in a diary is, this is what Anne Frank has written, dear students, of her own story. Actually, it's a real story. It's an autobiographical incidents of her lives in her childhood phase. Okay, see, writing in diary is really strange experience for someone like me. Not only because I have never written anything before, but also because it seems to me that later on neither I nor anyone else will be interested in the musings of a 13-year-old schoolgirl. So she says that diary writing is a very strange phenomenon. Why? Because not only have I written anything, not only I have not written anything before, but also it seems to me that after I write my biographical information, okay, many people, there will be many people who may not be interested to read the musings or the story of a 13-year-old girl. Understood? That is why initially it was a very strange experience for her. Okay, initially she was not very much motivated to write the diary because number one, she did not write diary before, okay, or anything before, and number two, she thought that very few people might be interested to read the content of a 13-year-old girl. So these are the two reasons as to why initially she was not so very much interested to start writing the diary. Okay. Oh well, it doesn't matter, I feel like writing. And then she says, it's okay, even if the people do not read, but at least I shall have some record of my own life. Okay, therefore she started writing. I feel like writing, and I have an even greater need to get all kind of things off my chest. Okay, so she thought that try to understand the meaning of get all kinds of things off my chest. It means she wanted to kind of share her pent-up feelings with in her diary. Because if we write down something, whatever we have in our mind, we tend to feel very light. Okay, but if we keep it bottled up in our mind, if we do not share with people whatever grievance or whatever suffering I am having inside, then this suffering or this grievance tends to multiply. Understood? Therefore, it is always better if we have any grievance in our mind, we should share with people. Okay, if we do not have the scope to share with people, at least we can write down, okay, on a diary, so that we feel light inside. Okay, so this is exactly what is one of the main reasons why she started writing diary. Okay, number one, she feels like writing, she was interested in writing. Initially there were few hiccups, of course, some hesitation initially, but basically she liked writing. Okay, but due to some consideration initially she thought people might not read my contents, therefore she took a back seat. But as she was passionate about writing, she again took up. Okay, even though, and when she took up, she had two things in mind. Okay, what is that? First of all, she had passion for writing. Number two, she thought, if I write, okay, if I write down, then people will, at least I shall be light inside. Okay, all my pent up feelings or bottled up feelings or emotions will come out in the form of writing. So I shall feel at ease or comfortable. Okay. Next, paper has more patience than people. Paper has more patience than people. I thought of this saying on one of those days when I was feeling a little depressed and was sitting at home with my chin in my hands, bored and listless, wondering whether to stay in or go out. So she remembered one saying, paper has more patience than people. Means if you write something on the paper, okay, it will last. Okay, it will be permanent. People do not have much of patience. Okay, but paper has patience. Okay, people may not be interested sometimes to read a very lengthy essay or any content. But paper, whatever content you write on a paper, or in the modern day context, if you write on your blog, okay, on your blog, so everything is. There is no space constraint on paper or on blog. We can keep writing and writing and writing. Okay, there is no page constraint, you can say, or page restriction or space restriction. Okay, that is why she said paper has more patience than people. Okay, because people are said to be not having much of patience. I thought of this saying on one of those days when I was feeling a little depressed. When she was feeling a little depressed, okay, she thought of this particular idiom, okay, proverb or saying, you can say, and was sitting at home with my chin in my hands, bored and listless, wondering whether to stay in or go out. Okay, then she stayed where I finally stayed where I was, brooding. Brooding is thinking. Yes, paper does have more patience, and since I am not planning to let anyone else read this stiff-backed notebook, grandly referred to as a diary, unless I should ever find a real friend, it probably won't make a bit of difference. Dear students, just for a couple of seconds I'll take leave. Please stay connected. Okay, so she thought initially when she started writing the diary, she thought that I shall not share the content of my diary with anyone until I get a real friend. Okay, until I get a real friend, it probably won't make a bit of difference. Now that I am writing diary, this is exclusively for me. I shall not share with anyone until I find a real friend with whom I can share my content. Now next, you see, okay, next you see, let me put it more clearly, since no one will believe that a 13-year-old girl is completely alone in this world. Okay, and I am not. I have loving parents and a 16-year-old sister, and there are about 30 people I can call friends. He said, I have a huge family, and I have around 30 people whom I can really call friends. Okay, in spite of the fact that I have I can call the family members, my friends, okay. But still I thought, until I get some friend of a different nature, okay, with whom I can make friendship very closely, I should not share my content, okay. I have a family, loving aunts and a good home. No, on the surface I seem to have everything except my one true friend. She said, of course my family members are also my friend, but still in the real sense of a friend, in the real sense of a true friend, I have not got yet anyone. Therefore she is looking for a friend, okay. So as of now she doesn't have any friend, therefore she decides to make her diary her friend, okay. All I think about when I'm with friends is having a good time. I can't bring myself to talk about anything but ordinary everyday things. We don't seem to be able to get any closer. That's the problem. Maybe it's my fault that we don't confide in each other. In any case, that's just how things are, and unfortunately they are not liable to change. This is why I started the diary. So she has started the diary because of the fact that even though she has friends around, but they were not so close with whom she can share her feelings. Therefore she thought, whatever feelings, whatever grievance or whatever things I wanted to share with my friend, why not I let them down in my diary? Why not temporarily I consider my diary as my real friend, so that I can ventilate all my feelings and write down what I feel like sharing with my real friend. As she hasn't got any real friend so far, so she has started considering her diary her friend temporarily, okay, till she finds a real friend. That is why, in order to bottle, sort of ventilate her feelings, pent up feelings, grievance, or the instances of suffering, she wanted to pen down her feelings on the diary, because she wanted to share something, okay, and she considered diary to be her best friend till that point of time. This is the primary reason behind which she, or the reason which made her start writing the diary. To enhance the image of this long-awaited friend in my imagination, I don't want to jot down the facts in this diary the way most people would do, but I want the diary to be my friend, and I'm going to call this friend Kitty. Okay, so as she doesn't have a physical friend in the real sense of the term with whom she can refer to as true friend, she has started taking the diary as a friend, and she has given a name to this friend. The name of the friend is Kitty. She has named her diary as Kitty. Next you see, since no one would understand a word of my stories to Kitty if I were to plunge right in, I would better provide a brief sketch of my life, much as I dislike doing so. Okay, even though I dislike giving the biographical information of my life, okay, but still, okay, I would like to give you some information, okay, some information about my family. So since no one would understand a word of my stories to Kitty, if I were to plunge right in, I better provide a brief sketch of my life. So I am giving brief sketch of my life, brief account or description of my life, okay, because if I write in detail my family description, people might not be interested afterwards to read this in detail, okay. So therefore, let me give you a short description of my life. My father, the most adorable father I have ever seen, did not marry my mother until he was 36 and she was 25, okay. My sister Margaret was born in Frankfurt in Germany in 1926. I was born on 12 June 1929. I lived in Frankfurt until I was 4. My father emigrated to Holland in 1933. My mother, Edith Hollander Frank, went with him to Holland in September, while Margaret and I were sent to Aachen to stay with my grandmother. Margaret went to Holland in December and I followed him in February, when I was plunked down on the table as a birthday present for Margaret, okay, because Margaret, did not have any company. Okay, so Margaret was initially not having company. Therefore, Annie was made a company of her sister Margaret. Okay, Margaret went to Holland in December, and I followed in February. Okay, therefore, till that time Margaret was feeling lonely, and then they met one another as a birthday present for Margaret. Okay, birthday present means her Annie's arrival is a birthday present for Margaret. Okay, I started right away at the Montessori nursery school. I stayed there until I was 6, at which time I started in the first form. First form means first standard. In the 6th standard, my teacher was Mrs. Cooper's, the headmistress. The headmistress. At the end of the year, we were both in tears as we said a heartbreaking farewell. So she had to leave the school. Therefore, it was a heartbreaking farewell for both of them, both Mrs. Cooperas and Annie. In the summer of 1941, grandmother fell ill and had to have an operation. So my birthday passed with little celebration. Okay. Next you see, grandma died in January 1942. No one knows how often I think of her and still love her. So dear students, we get the information of her attachment with her grandmother. Okay, this is what we have come to know so far. Okay, because she has started giving her family information to us now. So far we come to know that she was very much attached to her grandmother. How do you know? Because she is writing here, no one knows how often I think of her and still love her. This birthday celebration in 1942 was intended to make her up for the other, and grandma's candle was lit along with the rest. Okay, so she did not celebrate her birthday in 1942 because of the grief that she was undergoing for the demise or the death of her grandmother. Just the candle was lit, okay, as a memory of her grandmother. The 4 of us are still doing well, and that brings me to the present day of 20th June 1942 and the solemn dedication of my diary. Okay, now what happens? See, the 4 of us, 2 sisters, father and mother. Okay, the 4 of us are still doing well, and that brings me, till doing well means till 1942. Okay, and that brings me to the present date of 20th June 1942 and the solemn dedication of my diary. This is the date when she has started writing the diary, 20th June 1942. Okay, so see here her first dedication, content on the diary. We are left with very little time, dear students. We are left with very little time, it seems. Okay, so till now, do you have any doubt? Do you have any doubt till what I have taught you? You say yes or no if you've got any iota of doubt. You can text me quickly so that I can address these issues. Okay. So thank you dear students. So just 2-3 minutes I will continue with, or just this paragraph. This page I will complete quickly. Okay. Dearest Kitty, she writes her first diary. Kitty, as I told you, she addressed the diary as her intimate friend. Okay, she has named her diary as Kitty. Our entire class is quaking in its boots. Quaking in its boots means shaking with fear and nervousness. The reason, of course, is the forthcoming meeting in which the teachers decide who will move up to the next form and who will be kept back. Okay, so dear student, this is the phase in every one's life. Okay, just a few days ahead of the result. Okay, declaration, because we keep our fingers crossed because of the declaration. We don't know what kind of percentage we will come up with, or whether we've done well, or whether our rank has gone down, or whether we have scored good marks, or we've scored poor marks. So these are some of the thoughts that keep surfacing in our mind. Some days leading up to the prior to the declaration of the result. So the same natural thing happened with her also. Okay, she says. Then she says here, half the class is making bats, Gian and I love ourselves silly, at the two boys behind us, Cian and Jackas, all these friends, names of friends who have staked their entire holiday savings on their bat. Sometimes they keep bat also, okay? From morning to night, it's you are going to pass, no I am not, yes you are, no I am not. Even GS pleading glances and my angry outburst can't calm them down. If you ask me, there are so many dummies that about a quarter of the class should be kept back. Okay, so she said there are so many dummies in the class, then frankly speaking or practically speaking, a quarter of the total strength of the class, okay, should be kept back. Kept back means should be failed in the class. Okay, should fail in the class, should not be given promotion for the next higher class. Okay, but teachers are the most unpredictable creatures on earth. Okay, this is her statement. Okay. I am not so worried about my girlfriends and myself. Well, we'll make it, means we'll pass it to the next grade. The only subject I am not sure about is maths, which is of course the weakness of most of the students. Anyway, all we can do is wait. Until then, we keep telling each other not to lose heart. I get along pretty well with all my teachers. There are 9 of them, 7 men and 2 women. Mr. Kissing, the old fogey who teaches maths, old fogey means old-fashioned teacher who teaches maths, was annoyed with me for ages because I talk so much. After several warnings, he assigned me extra homework, an essay on the subject, a chatterbox. A chatterbox, what can you write about that? I would worry about that later. I decided I jotted down the title in my notebook, tucked it in my bag and tried to keep quiet. Okay, she was a bit of a chatterbox in the class. She used to chat, talk in the class a great deal. Therefore, her teacher sometimes used to give her punishment. Okay, so Mr. Kissing gave her punishment. Okay, so what was the punishment? An extra homework. She has to write an essay on the subject, a chatterbox. Understood? That evening, after I had finished the rest of my homework, the note about the essay caught my eye. I began thinking about the subject while chewing the tip of my fountain pen. Anyone could ramble on and leave big spaces between the words, but the trick was to come up with convincing arguments to prove the necessity of talking. I thought, and suddenly I had an idea. I wrote the 3 pages Mr. Kissing had assigned me and was satisfied. I argued that talking is a student's trait and that I would do my best to keep it under control, but that I would never be able to cure myself of the habit since my mother talked as much as I did, if not more, and that there's not much you can do about inherited traits. So, dear students, she was trying to justify the reason as to why she was talking in the class. Okay, she said she has inherited this habit of talking from her mother, and she said that she was trying to find out the reason as to what she should write, okay, in order to convince the teacher about the fact that she is talking in the class. Okay, therefore she was trying to find out the reasons about the necessity of talking in the class. Okay, and then she wrote 3 pages, okay, and she said that talking is one of the most important characteristics of the students. Okay, but I try my best to keep it under control. Moreover, I have inherited this trait of talking or characteristics of talking from my mother. Okay, so dear students, I hope you've understood till now. I will like to wrap up now, dear students. I shall wind up now as you have next class to attend. Okay, so we shall start with some recapitulation in the next class, and if you have any doubt, you please pen it down on a piece of paper. And dear students, those who haven't subscribed to my channel, kindly do subscribe to it now, okay, and press on the bell icon for the notification of every upcoming video. Besides the live class, I'm also going to upload some concept videos, so for those videos you need notification so that you understand when I upload. So do press the bell icon, as well as please do subscribe if you haven't subscribed so far. Thank you so very much, dear students. Bye bye, take care till we meet the next time. Take a very good care of yourself. Thank you so much. Bye bye.